welcome to Storytime. I'm Miss Emily, and today I'm sharing with you Malina's Jam. This is a special book because it is part of the Walt Disney Animation Studios Artist Showcase, which means the illustrations are all done by a Walt Disney animator. This animator has worked on movies like Moana and Frozen 2. So let's get started with Malina's Jam. Malina's Jam. Malina was a hedgehog who lived in the woods. She loved her tea, she loved her books, but most of all, she loved her raspberry garden. In the spring, Malina cared for each raspberry bush. She mulched, she tugged, she watered. "Lovely garden," called a neighbor squirrel. Malina gave a polite smile. Later, she took a sip of tea, pulled a book from her bag, and read. Her raspberry bushes were excellent listeners. In the summer, Malina watched her raspberry garden grow and grow and grow. Look at this picture. We can see the raspberry bushes get bigger and bigger and bigger. But if you look closely at these illustrations, is there something else that's growing in this picture? Let's look at the first plant. We see at the top of this plant a caterpillar. And then in the next picture, we see a cocoon. And then in this last picture, what animal do we see? We see a butterfly. So we got to see the butterfly grow over the summer too. She plucked, she plopped, she stirred. "Nice work," called a neighbor mouse. Malina gave a polite smile. So here she is, making her jam. Later, she took a sip of tea, pulled a book from her bag, and read. Her jars of raspberry jam were excellent listeners too. In the fall, Malina organized her jars of raspberry jam. She labeled, she counted, she shelved. She's very organized. "Wow," called a neighbor rabbit. "That jam looks amazing." Malina was so proud, she actually said thank you. Then she paused. Maybe she could spare one jar of jam. "Here," said Malina, "this is for you." Soon, 2 other neighbors stopped by. "We heard your raspberry jam is delicious," said a bird. "Oh," said Malina. Surely she could part with 2 more jars. But before long, this happened. Look at all of these animals. Can you name some of the animals we see in this picture? There's a bear. There's a little green frog. Here's a rabbit and an owl. Do you see any others? That's a lot of forest animals, and all of them are taking some of Malina's jam. At last, Malina was able to take a sip of tea. She pulled a book from her bag, excited to read to her shelves of jam. She turned. What do you think is going to happen? How many jars of jam does Malina have left? Oh no! Malina hurried to her garden. She hoped to find enough berries for one last jar of jam, but only a single berry was left. "How will I ever make it through winter with a single raspberry?" Malina wondered as she arrived home. That's when she heard something. Lots of something. "Surprise!" shouted her neighbors. "We wanted to return the favor," said a rabbit. "We've brought some jars of goodness for you," said a mouse. "Oh, thanks everybody," said Malina. Winter came, but as it went, Malina and her neighbors readied her raspberry garden for the months ahead. They cleared, they covered, they pruned. Later, Malina took a sip of tea, pulled a book from her bag, and read. It turned out her neighbors were excellent listeners too. Malina was a hedgehog who lived in the woods. She loved her tea, she loved her books, she loved her raspberry garden. but enjoying these things with her neighbors? She loved that most of all. And then here on the last page, we have a recipe for Malina's jam. So you can come and borrow this book from the library and you can try Malina's jam for yourself. So that is the story of Malina's jam. All right, you guys were such great listeners. Before we go, we are going to sing a song. So I have my song cube, which is my favorite way to choose a song to sing. And I'm just gonna roll it and we'll see what we have. Oh, that was a horrible roll. Hold on. There we go. This is the story the song we're going to sing today. So this is the Itsy Bitsy Spider. Are you guys ready? The itsy bitsy spider went up the water spout. Down came the rain and washed the spider out. Out came the sun and dried up all the rain. And the itsy bitsy spider went up the spout again. Good job, you guys. We're going to sing that one more time. Are you ready? The itsy bitsy spider went up the water spout. Down came the rain and washed the spider out. Out came the sun and dried up all the rain. And the itsy bitsy spider went up the spout again. Good job! All right, you guys. So we've had our story. We've done our song. We are going to sing our goodbye song now. So we do goodbye friends. It's time to say goodbye to our friends using sign language. So we have to know 4 signs of sign language for this song. So we have to know time, which looks like this. You just tap your wrist where you would wear a wristwatch. And then we have to do say, which is where we take our pointer finger and we put it on our chin and pull out. Say, say. Then we have to say goodbye. This one's pretty easy. We just wave goodbye. And then the last one we need to know is friends. And that is where we take our 2 pointer fingers, we kind of hook them, and then they hug like this. Friends. Friends. Are you guys ready? It is time to say goodbye to our friends. It is time to say goodbye to our friends. It is time to say goodbye. It is time to say goodbye. It is time to say goodbye to our friends. Good job, you guys. We're going to do our goodbye song one more time. Are you guys ready? It is time to say goodbye to our friends. It is time to say goodbye to our friends. It is time to say goodbye. It is time to say goodbye. It is time to say goodbye to our friends. Good job, you guys. Thank you so much for joining me for Storytime, and we'll see you next time. Goodbye.